Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how the rich and successful are not your enemies, generally speaking. I know when I was growing up poor, there was this us versus them mentality. We didn't even know any rich people. I mean, we knew people who were richer than us, but that was easy. Pretty much everybody was richer than we were growing up, but we didn't know any actual rich people. It wasn't until I started becoming more successful myself and started thinking more about success and thinking more success-minded that I actually met some really rich people before becoming rich myself and realized they were nothing like the movies and TV shows had presented them to be. Sure, there are some like that, but they weren't these villains out to pollute the environment and destroy kids and hurt families and just crush and bulldoze over everybody just to get an extra few dollars. I'm sure there's people like that out there, so that's certainly something that could happen. There are people like that. But what you'll find more often is those kind of people, those evil people, they're way more overrepresented among the poor than they are among the rich. Among the rich, I've found some of the nicest, most generous, most kind people, and it's really been surprising to me from the perspective I was coming from. Which, as a poor person, I thought they were our enemies. They must hate us. They're trying to hold us down. They're trying to sabotage our efforts to make our lives better. But those are the ideas of somebody who's losing in life, a true loser in life. They're always looking to blame someone else for their failings. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else that could have done more. It's never about them. It's not the fact they didn't put in the effort. It's not the fact they didn't take the time to educate themselves, or whatever it may be that kept them from becoming the success they could have became. And so rich people get blamed for it. Successful people get blamed for it. Now listen, I'm not here to defend the rich. Every individual stands on their own merits and who they are as a person. But the same is with the poor or with anyone. But you have to understand this, because when you think that the rich are evil, they're out to get you, they're out to hurt everybody, what you naturally do, because you're a good person, you create an instant barrier from you ever becoming rich. Because your subconscious mind's never going to let you do the things that will make you become a success and become rich, because you view being a rich person as being someone evil, someone who's out to hurt people. So you'll never be able to get to that position. Not because you have to do anything wrong. Truly, if you think about it, in this world, I know in times past there's a lot of different things. There were people who had monopolies over stuff and all kinds of evil stuff. In today's world, it's a very different economy, the way things work. You can create your own economy as well. But the bulk of how you become rich is you provide more value for people. The old days of just robbing and pillaging, you can't do that anymore. And that's not the way people today who are rich became rich in most cases. You can always point to some exception, but that means nothing, because you can find way more people like that among the poor than you can among the rich anyway. No one's ever afraid to walk in a rich neighborhood at night, but they are afraid to walk in a poor neighborhood at night. The reason being obvious. The rich aren't out burglarizing, murdering, and stealing from you, but the poor, they very well may be. So you have to renew your mind to this. Not to think all rich people are great, because maybe they're not. But that there's nothing wrong with you becoming rich. You're not going to be evil because you become rich. You're not going to be evil because you become more successful. And as I said, in today's world, the way you get to become rich, in most cases, like I said, there's always exceptions, but we're not talking about those exceptions. The way you become rich today is by providing the most value to the most amount of people. And this is something that the poor never seem to learn. And if they do, they start rising out of poverty real rapidly. Because you can't go work for some fast food restaurant, getting paid a minimum wage, and serving dozens, maybe hundreds of people a day in the little bit of food that you provide each day. You're not providing much value there. So you can never be paid a lot. You can never get a good increase because you're not providing much value in the world. And this is something that people who become rich know and understand deeply, is that if they provide more value to more people, they get more money. They have a natural increase. Now, here's another thing that many people don't understand. But like I said, I grew up poor. When I first started associating with rich people, and I'm talking about very rich people, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, one of the things I came to notice real quickly was they were very generous. Very generous. Now, I know the poor people, because I had the same mentality at first. Your initial gut reaction to that is, well, of course they're generous. They have all that money. But when you start talking to people and get to know them, you learn that when they had no money, when they were struggling and they were poor themselves, they were generous then. And you start to see a picture form of, instead of this caricature that people have, the evil rich person that's trying to steal somebody's home so they can build a parking lot or something evil, nasty like that. These were people who were normal people, who were very generous, provided more value than other people in the marketplace were, and became very rich for it. And they never stopped their generosity. It just kept growing with them, to where many of them are giving away all their wealth, besides the little bit they need to live. And so my purpose of this video is not to get you to praise the rich. I don't care about that at all. It's to get you to change your mentality. Now, I don't want you to demonize the poor either. There are great poor people who are nice people, kind people, who just have bad programming about money and finances and how you use your money, what you do in life, how much effort you put into life, all kinds of things, maybe vices and stuff like that. So it's not about you loving one person over another, anything like that. It is about you taking a different approach to life. Understanding that you could become very rich and still be that good, kind-hearted person you are. The riches aren't going to change you. If they do change you, it's not because they really changed you, it's because that's who you really were. And you were just hiding it because it's harder to do much when you're poor. You don't have a whole lot of power. You can't really enact much evil in the world because you're so poor. So if money changes you, that's just a matter of your heart, not the money. And I'm not even encouraging you to even get a bunch of money. I'm just saying I want you to become successful. I want you to have an abundance in your life. One of the main reasons is so you can be a giver, you can be generous. You know, I know in modern professing Christendom, they talk about tithing money. They love that because it makes the church's money. I'm not telling you to avoid giving money. I'm telling you to give more. Tithing money is not scriptural in the first place, but I'm telling you to give more money. Be very generous, not because you're doing it of some force or drudgingly or necessity because otherwise you think you're robbing God. I want you to do it from a kind, cheerful, grateful heart in appreciation to God and gratitude to Him. And I want to add something to this that's going to be very important for you. Now, you might start small, maybe a penny, but that's all right. You know, Scripture talks about setting up and laying by in store. So the first day of the week, on Sunday, we give. And that's perfectly fine. But I want to encourage you to maybe ramp that up a little bit. How about doing this? Trying for 1 month to give every single day. Now, I know if you don't have a lot of money, you might, oh no, I can't do this. I don't have any money. You don't understand. My bills are late. Okay. You could walk around a parking lot and find 10 or 15 cents. And then give a penny. If there's a little donation bin somewhere, put that penny in there. Just do that. 1 penny. I know it doesn't sound like anything. This is just to get you in the practice of generosity and giving. Because you will find if you do this from a pure heart, you will start to attract more abundance in your life. And if you continue with this throughout your life, continue to ramp up your giving as a percentage of your income, you will start to see yourself become very rich. And my friend, I want you to become rich. Because a generous person who's rich does a lot of good in the world. That's how hospitals get built. That's how schools get built. That's how all kinds of great and noble things get accomplished in this world by people who have money and give it to good, noble things. So my friend, I want you to become rich. I want you to become successful. I want you to understand the rich and successful are not your enemies. And I want you to join their ranks, becoming rich and successful yourself. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.